Yo, guess what time it is? It's your boy Carcino here, and I was gonna do this for Patreons, but I said, nah, I'm gonna get this to y'all, my loyal subscribers from day ones. So this for my day ones, all right? You get this one for freebie, all right? Now, Jay and everybody wanted to know what happened ever since Cameron brought it up in the song. When he dissed Jay, you stabbed on over Charlie Baltimore. Sucker for love. So a lot of people thought that it was over some leaked records for Volume 3 and all of this and blah, 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 blah. One day they'll tell you the truth, right? It's always that. But then, until then, you have me, right? So here it is. That's funny. Somebody just hit me up on the Patreon. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into it. Now, JayZ and Un was straight. They didn't really know each other too much. They knew each other because of Big and Puff, and Un was tight. All because back in the 97 era, Un and Big had basically parted ways from working with each other. Un Diaz, he had just split with Un and sold his part of Un Diaz. So when this was done, the success of the Little Kim album and the Junior Mafia album did great for Big Beat and Un Diaz Entertainment. And it was able to help orchestrate a deal with Epic Records, Sony and Epic Records, where Un got basically the table rolled out for him. Even though it was off the strength of Biggie, mostly, it gathered a lot of revenue, as they made about almost $20 million off of 2 albums. That's good for a small independent company to come up with that kind of revenue, for Time Warner. Now, Little Kim Project was the first of its kind, followed by Foxy, but when Little Kim came out, it was the most lewd album that they had, so naturally that was met with a lot of controversy. They didn't sell Little Kim album in certain places like Target and Walmart. It was banned because it was too graphic. That's what they thought. See, back then it was still a thing that's like character and morals. So Time Warner was catching a lot of heat at their board meetings for putting Little Kim album in stores. So during that time, the climate wasn't, always accepting. So even after taking that heat and then Biggie dying, for some reason, it still didn't change the fact that it made a lot of money. And they was like, man, this guy's connected with Biggie. He's going to bring in a lot of money. So, you know what? Let's roll out the red carpet. And they gave him a $60 million deal. So while he has a $60 million deal with Entertainment, you're seeing a whole gigantic rollout. You see what I'm saying? You see Sauce Money was, dealing with him a little bit because him and Dane wasn't kind of vibing, while they was doing their thing over there. So, he went and got another deal with Arista, but that's beside the point. So, anyhow, Un is in the game now, big. And everybody see Un got that big money now. Now Cam is finna be debuted, with this big rollout. Cam got like a 7 album deal, and he gonna be the first artist to come out on the label. They got Mace on the album. They got all these artists, and Jay see Un, and he's coming up, and he got Lil Cam and all this. Now Charlie Baltimore, she thought she was gonna be signed with Bad Boy, and big, and be part of the commission. They were gonna start their little label and all that. That didn't happen. So Big's gone now. So the commission project, all that's gone. It's up in smoke. Now everybody's got to fend for self. So Charlie knows is like, okay, is the guy, she's like, I write, I do this, I do that. And he was like, look, I know you and Kim got some beef and this and that. And she was like, look, I don't really have no problems with girl. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. I got a job to do. I'm here to get my money, and that's that. And I ain't got time to be beefing with her and what's not, what's not. So, Un already had it laid out. All right, I'm going to sign Charlie Baltimore because she was with Biggie. Biggie was promoting her and getting all her stuff together, and Puffy was supposed to do all that, but he didn't get a chance to, and he really want to, because Puff didn't really care about her. That was Big's woman. Now, after all of this, goes down. Who was that coming? After all of this goes down, Jay is blown up now. He's a big player in the game. You know what I'm saying? He's a big player in the game. And now that he's a big player in the game, he blew up with Hard Knock Life. What was supposed to come out, the album with Charlie Baltimore, wasn't ready. So when the album wasn't ready, when it was supposed to, the studios was like, hey, we were supposed to have this album within 6 months. The album's way over budget, and it seems like it's being sabotaged from coming out. And so they're behind. So they're trying to, they didn't pay for Mobb Deep. They got Ghostface got a big check for being on the album. They got everybody that's hot to do a song with Charlie, and the album ain't coming out. It's all kind of stuff and ain't finished. And she's distracted. She's got personal issues going on with her kid. It's just a whole mess going on. So all of a sudden she's trying to get around it, and then Un finds out that, Jay is trying to, get up with her and keep her in the loop and date her, and buying her stuff, trying to bring her around, and here we go, you know. So they hanging out, and Lil Kim and Jay, everybody's there, C's, the Junior Mafia. They was all kicking it at some album release party earlier. And that's the photo you see now. This was from like probably a month before all of this even went down. So let me see. When was this? This is probably a little bit before Big died. I think this is like right before Big died. So I think that's even before Hard Knock Life. I think this is when like Kim album was out. So anyway, anyhow, granted, that's done. That's said and done. Now we get to the actual event, the Kit Kat Club on 43rd Street. They had your boy's Q-Tips. You know, he had Vibrant thing going. He had that was the big hit. It's just a Vibrant thing. So anyway, this is his debut album coming out from the drop, and he's got everybody there who basically was, you know, in the industry and that was hot at the time. So Jay has been getting blown off by Charlie Baltimore. And the reason why is because Un had basically blocked it. You know, and she was like, I can't, I gotta get focused. Un said, you know, like, I gotta, he don't want his artist messing with, you know, another artist right now that's gonna mess up my image and all of that because it's gonna look crazy. I was with Big, now I'm in with Jay, and how's that gonna look on me and my album line out? And you don't want Biggie fans to turn on you. So that's how Un was looking at it. Un was looking at it from a business perspective. It's like Biggie fans might turn on you. You know, like Big looked at you in the commission, they knew you was with Big, and now here it is, you with Jay. Now, you know, he was like, I see what he get out of it, but for you, it'll torpedo you. And you ain't even got started yet. So when she like kind of just like, nah, I don't want to do that move. Jay was pissed because Jay's used to having control and he felt like he was cock blocked and he was livid. So when he got there, he went in with his crew. He had Rogue, the driver, pull him up there. He had Tata with him, of course, and he took his boy Hazam with him. So they walk up, and I think it's another guy, because I think Ro was in the car. So they had another guy with him, and some other unnamed person. He was there. And Un is just there with, it's just Un and his brother Chris. That's it. That was all he brought. So he walks right up to Un. Un had a table, they had a bucket, they had the champagne and everything. So Jay's coming up, and Jay was upset about the bootlegging. His album and everything was already bootlegged, and his album ain't even been released yet. And it's already on the streets. And he just did 2 weeks ago, he just did the Source magazine, you know, the big layout for his album. He just did the Blue Streak movie soundtrack, where, you know, he did this crazy video that they paid him $1 million for, just for the one song. He got $1 million. But he couldn't appear in any videos, so he was doing well. So after he got that deal, he took the Source, you know, video shoot and all that for the cover of the Source. Once he found out his album was on the streets, he was already in a bad, foul mood because they was finna have to release his album early because it was already on the streets and the bootleggers had it. So he was in a foul mood, period. Anyway, now he's even foul because he can't get what he wants. Now, he walks up to Un, and him and Hamas is there, and before he starts yelling at Un, and Un's talking to him about, man, look, I know what you mad about is business, and this and that. All of a sudden, like a punch is thrown. We don't know who hit who. Jay had grabbed the bottle from the table like he was gonna pour a drink. Then he cuffed it like he wasn't finna pour a drink, and wham, hit Chris upside the head. Hamas jumps in, Tata jumps in. So a lot of people fighting and throwing punches. And next thing you know, Un is stabbed. Now, they go back to the car. Like everybody's going in a huff. Jay's got blood on him. So they leave, and when they made the arrest later, because they had to turn people in, Jay was arrested. But only thing Jay really did that we know he did is he hit Chris upside the head with the bottle. Now, Hamas is the one that had Un. Tata was over there kicking and punching and doing whatever he's doing. But Hamas was mostly with Un. Un was a big dude then. So Hamas had him. And Jay was kind of being pushed back by Hamas. Now, how did this happen? I don't know. But Nas explains this to you in Ether, right? And your man stabbed Un and made you take the blame. Now, we're going to get to what that line means. Remember I told you that was what really went down? And that was the line that really affected Jay, because he knew for sure Ether was that business, and that was for real. So then they get outside, they, everything's been taken care of, stashed away, whatever. So they bring Jay in for it, because Jay know I didn't do anything. I'm going to get off. Because he didn't. So Jay's finna get off. Now, when this happens, everybody is like, man, like, this is crazy. Un's been stabbed, and they leaked out this thing made up a story about, oh, well, Un was leaking the records, and that's what him and Jay got in the altercation because of that. Because if you tell them the truth, people look at them like you stupid for fighting over a girl. Finna throw all this away because you can't have some girl? Are you stupid? You pouting like that? Jay is Sagittarius. Sagittarius don't like to be told what they can and cannot do. That don't like go over well with them. Trust me, I know. Now, Sagittarius male always feel they're gonna have to get their point across. In this case, it was literal. Now, he's out on is getting ready to release the new album for Camera. By the way, too, Y2K had everybody shook. Because Jay was really trying to get his album done and released before the New Year's because of the Y2K thing. And everybody wasn't going to be able to use computers and all that stuff. Everything's just going to shut down. So people were terrified and in panic. So that's why he was really rushing to get Volume 3 out and released in 99. So we carry on and proceed now that we all caught up there. Now, after this is done, the whole shift changes. Cam's getting ready to come out with his second album, which is his best album, Sex, Drugs, and Entertainment. SD, baby, all day. Now, once he's coming out with this album, he's finna knock everything out the park. There is a leaked single for the album that comes out on the radio. It's called Double Up. And we listening to Double Up. And we love this song. The beat, everything. Then it gets to the last verse. And the last verse is He's whispering the verse. And we thought that was the illest thing we've ever heard in our life. Somebody is rapping the verse in a whisper. You know how ill that is? We was like, dude, is this dude actually whispering the verse? And this was way before I'ma beat y'all myself. Oh yeah, way before that. So anyhow, Un comes on this record. And I don't know who has this record now. I know I had it somewhere recorded, but it never appeared again. And it wasn't on the album. But on the radios, on the mixtapes, it was everywhere. And the message was clear, even though he was whispering. Hey, yo, it's me, Itch. It's bitch. CEO joint bitches, bump inches. I'ma let you know so you get it right. I don't rap niggas, but I spit it right. So he was telling them to go to church and pray, talking about Jay first deal. It was 2 against 4. And he's like, Charlie, Baltimore, Little Kim. If you want to be a star, come see the CEO. And he was just laying it down. And just to hear him on the track, whispering the last verse, it was spooky, haunting, and serious. So people took that very serious. So Jay went to the next club, the event that he had to make an appearance for, and Un and some of his guys, was rumored to be there. And Jay once again got road driving, got Tata, got Hamas with him, and the feds are watching now. After the first incident with the stabbing, they know he got caught and everything else, and hip hop police, before it was hip hop police, they were just officers on patrol. And they just moonlighting watching Jay. So I guess one of them see a gun, and they decide to, without probable cause, pull over the driver, who was Ro, who was never ever drunk. Ro never was smoking, doing anything that would bring the police attention. This man stops the car, and when they stop the car, they frisk everybody. Jay's bodyguard got a Glock 9mm pistol on him, and just like that, he's going to jail for the pistol. And Jay just was like, wasn't mine. That's it. Wasn't mine, but they got it. So Jay, who actually bragged right before this happened on the song Streets is Talking, he bragged about Hazam holding what he was like, when y'all see me in the streets, that means police is watching. He basically was telling what was happening before it happened. He was dead serious. He was telling the story before it even happened. And it ended up costing him. What he said, if you see me in the streets, that means police is watching. My bodyguard, I only use his waist to hide my Glock in. But when it goes down, you know who's doing the popping. And if you don't know, guess who's doing the dropping? It's Dot again. Y'all got him in a bad mood. Bad move. That's bad news. How many times have I got to prove? How many loved ones have you got to lose before you realize it's probably true? Whatever Jigga say, Jigga probably do. I made the news. So anyway, this is where the infamous line come from. And I heard that I can't go back home. You know when I heard that? When I was back home. I'm comfortable, dog, from Brooklyn to Rome, on any Martin Luther. Don't part with the future. Don't ever question if I got the heart to shoot you. The answer is simply too dark for the user. And since the snot nose, they said he got flows. But will he be able to drop those before the doors close in and he's dead or gone for what somebody has spoken? My God. Man, that's when Jay was spitting, boy. But they were listening. So when they pulled him over, they found the Glock, the 9mm Glock, on Hazam. His bodyguard had the gun on his waist, so they arrested Tata, Ro, the driver, JayZ, and they took everybody down. So Jay was arrested yet again. And then he had this hearing coming up, and things changed because he had pled not guilty for the stabbing because, you know, he didn't do it. So they felt very secure in the fact of knowing that Jay didn't do it. Now, here's a new thing. Old bodyguard Hazam is like, whoa, 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 whoa. I see your name in the papers. I don't know who you is, dude. I see your name in the papers. I see your name keep popping up and everything. But my black butt is the one that's going to be going down for all this. So I ain't finna go down for the stabbing and that gun around my waist. So you gonna have to take the stabbing case. I can't have both if I'm gonna take the gun charge because they found the gun on me, on my waist. Because you wanted me to have it on my waist. So I'm gonna take the gun charge because they frisked me and found that. But I ain't going down for the stabbing, B. Because now that's two major felony cases. And his lawyer was telling him the truth. Like, you can't bite the bullet on both of them. So Jay's like, Jay, you only gonna get probation. That's it. Take the knife case. So Jay took a plea, which gave him 3 years of probation. He had to stand up in front of the court and admit that he stabbed Lance Un Rivera, even though he did not. So that's what happened. So now you know why Nas said that in his line. And your man stabbed Un and made you take the blame. So nothing really happened. You know, Charlie flopped and Diaz fell apart and this and that, and Jay and them kind of went their own way when that's about it. You know, so nobody really cared to continue to move forward with any of it anymore. So that's it, man. You got that for free. Hopefully the rest of y'all sign up to the Patreon. It's a lot finna pop off. Just be patient. It's all coming. Now, for the rest of you, big heads, don't forget my Cash App is Carceno, Karceno. If you like everything you heard here and want to hit more, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and select all so you can get all notifications. Right